the moment. Welcome back to the show, episode 70 of the Rugby League Breakdown podcast. I think we're better now. I think my computer's working better now. And as always, I'm joined by ProEnzo, Vidz, and All Out CHAMPA, and special guest tonight. It is HAYNESY is here in the house. HAYNESY, how are you, bro?
Doing good, mate. Doing good. How are you guys? Great to be back on again. It's great. It's
Good to have you on the show.
good to be back. Good to be back. Always enjoy coming on, and great weekend of World Cup footy, and great to be here to dissect it all and preview what's going to be a fantastic end of the climax of the World Cup as well. Can't wait for it.
Absolutely. And I'm also joined by regular co-host ProEnzo, Vidz, and All Out CHAMPA. ProEnzo, how are you, bro?
Going very well, actually. Fantastic. And great to have the podcast back. And I'm also looking forward to the draw tomorrow. Gonna be one to watch for tomorrow at 11 a.m. So looking forward to it.
100%. And I'm also joined by All Out CHAMPA. All Out CHAMPA, how's it going, brother?
Doing well. Thank you for having me on. HAYNESY, ProEnzo, great to see you guys as well. And I'm keen to get into a good podcast. Intense topics are coming up, so everyone in the audience, please stay tuned. You do not want to miss out.
All right, get ready. Get ready for a big show tonight, fellas. Episode number 70 of the Rugby League Breakdown podcast, and a fantastic achievement. 30 episodes away from the big 100, so it's going to be a fantastic show. Hopefully my computer doesn't decide to glitch again like it did at the start of the show. But hello to the live chat. We've got a bit of a crowd building up here. We've got about 20 people here as we speak. Hello to CJ Moxley. Hello to Paripi. Let's Go Bulldogs is here. Paddy G's in the house. We've got Jay Evans, Cody Games PlayStation. Damien from Newcastle was here. We've got Nighthawk Gaming. We've got SS Storm Fan, the loyal Jason Reader. Luke Melbourne Storm Fans here as well. The chat is looking very, very fine tonight. And yeah, my computer is very slow today. I don't know what's wrong with it. Hello to Christian. Hello to Ryan. Hello to everyone. I hope everyone's doing extremely well on this beautiful Wednesday night, November 9th, 2022. Going to be a great show. Hello, Jack Dempsey in the live chat as well. Fellas, let's just get into the podcast, shall we? We've got a few things to talk about tonight. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go. Let's get into it.
Let's go.
Let's do it.
And topic number 5, we're going to start off. The NRL are looking at a preseason comp. Now, would this actually work? I do not know. I'd love to get your guys' takes on this whole thing first. Now, nothing's set in stone. It's just a bit of talk that is being discussed with every NRL club at the moment. A NRL preseason competition. I don't know how this would work. I don't know how it would go. I don't understand it. I think it's crazy. I want to start with you on this one first, ProEnzo. Vidz, what are your thoughts on the potential of a preseason comp? Would it work?
So from my understanding, I'm guessing there's prize money. That was what was mentioned last week, that there's prize money involved in this competition they're planning on putting together. I don't know if having a preseason comp's the way to go, because I don't think that it means much when it's like doesn't really count to anything but money, which is a bit, I don't know. I don't think that's the way to go. But look, I wouldn't mind some sort of tournament. Like if it's something like the Nines, for example, or something like that, then I wouldn't mind it. But I just think that's a bit of a waste, considering that, you know, they're sort of only playing for money, and it's sort of just some sort of miniature competition. Look, I don't know the full details, but I've heard that there's just money involved. That will be potentially the prize at the end of the whole thing. So I don't know if it'll work or not, but tough one, really.
What do you reckon, HAYNESY? Should they do a preseason comp? Because the players play enough football as it is, don't they?
Yeah, definitely. Especially every 4 years after a World Cup, you know, it's going to be, you know, they play, even with the Dolphins now in the competition next year, they're saying there's going to be a 27-round competition. So so most teams are going to be playing over 30 games a year. But you know, and the preseason is grueling, as everyone says. So It's going to be interesting. I think if they do the preseason comp, it has to be the Nines. Like the Nines
It has
worked.
to be.
Like there was everyone enjoyed the Nines. You know, it was a great festival weekend. Down there in Auckland. The
It
NRL
was.
Nines.
And in Perth as well. And in Perth.
The Perth. I didn't really enjoy the Perth Nines, if I'm honest. But the Auckland Nines they were good. They were honestly good. It was a great festival vibe there at Eden Park. You know, and if they want to do a preseason tournament, that's the way to go. And it doesn't have to necessarily be the best top 30 players. You know, and we saw in many cases in the Nines they bring youth players there and they have their first taste of the NRL arena, like the likes of Hammer, Kalen Ponga, for just to name a few. They shined in the Nines, and they were the ones how they got recognised in the game before they hit first grade. So I think it's a great opportunity. If they do a preseason comp, it'll be the Nines, hopefully be the Nines, so they can showpiece some talent from across the board. I think we've seen a little bit in the AFL when they do like the NAB Cup or the JLT series where they do only play a handful of games and it's all youth players playing. So if they do a preseason comp, it would be the NRL Nines. I would like to see actually though, sort of like an FA Cup in soccer, like a knockout with all teams like from reserve grade and for example, like you have your New South Wales standalone New South Wales Cup teams and the Queensland Cup standalone teams to be in a draw with the NRL clubs to play a little bit of a mixture of a knockout tournament kind of thing. Just
that's a good idea.
A Nines tournament kind of thing. Like just just for a bit of shits and gigs, I guess, if you want to have something like that. And there's prize money for in the end. But on the topic that you said though, ProEnzo, with the prize money, like I don't know if they're going to have much there because they really lowball the minor premiership, and that's like something really hard. It's really worked hard for to win the minor premiership, and you don't really get much for winning it, like money wise. Exactly. So, like, if that's the thing, if they do have money involved, is anything going to be interesting enough? Like, just say they do, they could have. If they do a knockout pre-tournament kind of thing with all clubs, you know, it's something for these young, like these standalone New South Wales Cup sides, it's something to achieve for. So that's just to name a few as well.
100%. What about you, all that CHAMPA? Would you like to see this preseason comp become an actual thing, or do you think it's just fake news?
Oh, well, HAYNESY beat me to it. I was going to say a tournament with more than just the NRL teams in. I think it's a fantastic idea. I understand why people may not like it, too much footy or all that stuff. I think the more footy, the merrier. I love watching my rugby league, and I reckon we get a head start. It warms up the NRL competition. It warms up, you know, your hype for footy. And I think it's fantastic. I don't know how they'll have the tournament, whether they'll, like, segregate it into different pools, like the World Cup, which is going to be hard considering there is 17 teams now. But then again, you can bring in other teams from, let's say, New South Wales Cup, the teams that aren't feeding to the NRL clubs. I don't know who they may be, but look, and again, you don't have to have your top NRL players. You can bring in reserve grade players. You can bring in players from SG Ball, Harold Matz. Probably not Harold Matz, are too young, but SG Ball, Jersey Flegg, bring up the juniors, give them a taste of what first grade's like. And I think it could be exciting whether they do go for the Nines. The Nines were great, or if they want to do something different, like let's say maybe Touch or OzTag. Look, whatever they go with, I think it's going to be very interesting to see what they do. And look, I'm all in for it. I'm all in for trying out new ideas. I love my footy, and if we get a chance to watch more of it and to hype it up for the NRL season, mate, I can't complain.
I just feel having another preseason comp, it's just completely pointless. We don't need it. The NRL drill comes out tomorrow, and we're going to see 27 rounds of NRL with two or three buys. Sometimes we get 3 buys, some will get 2. So that's going to be tough enough as it is. The Nines, bring back the Nines. I think that's probably a popular thing. Everyone loves the Nines. Everyone will get around it. Whether you have it in Perth or you have it in New Zealand, it works well. The Nines is a great tournament. We don't need another preseason tournament for money. It's a waste of time. We don't need it. We've got enough. We've got international footy. We've got NRL. We've got all sorts. We've got Origin. We've got so much right now. We don't need another comp. The Nines is what the NRL need to have in the preseason. We've got the All-Star game. We've got the World Club Challenge. We don't need another preseason comp. It's just, and it's hot, bro. It's hot weather. February is very, very fucking hot. We don't need it. So
it's still summer, so
pretty much is. It's fucking horrible weather. Horrible weather. The Nines make sense. This other preseason comp, it just doesn't work for me. I don't like the idea. All right. Now let's move on to topic number 4. And fellas, I'm sure that you're all well aware of it. The NRL round 1 draw has been revealed. Like I said before, the entire 27-round fixture comes out tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. time here in New South Wales. Now, I have the day off work tomorrow. I will be live from 10:50 a.m. tomorrow morning, giving a live reaction to the whole draw. I'll be live for probably an hour tomorrow morning. So make sure you guys tune into that. That'll be 10:50 a.m. tomorrow morning, New South Wales time. The stream is already set up and ready to go. I'll be live with CJ Moxley, and there might be a special appearance from the King as well. But, fellas, what have you made of the NRL round 1 draw? Personally, I'd give it a 5 out of 10. I think it's a little bit disappointing. We don't have that many great games to look forward to. There's not one single rivalry game in round 1, which I cannot believe. All that CHAMPA, mate. I want to get your take on this one first. What are your thoughts on the NRL draw for round 1?
Now, I haven't had an in-depth look at the NRL draw, but I have seen a few games. And, yeah, I do agree. They should have really put a rivalry game into the round 1 fixture because because you're kicking off the NRL season. It's a new season, and look, it would have just built the hype more if we had like a Cowboys versus Brisbane, or we had a Souths versus Roosters. If we had a Para versus Bulldogs, it would have just bring more eyes to the game and build the hype for it, because rivalry games always build hype. But who knows? Maybe this round we'll watch this round and we'll have some 5-star games throughout the whole round. Who knows? All I'm just saying is they could have at least did it a bit better in choosing who faces who. You give it a 5 out of 10. I'm going to give it the benefit of a doubt and give it a 7 or maybe a 6.5. I think that's fair. I think 6.5 is a bit fair. But yeah, it's all right. I don't hate it, but maybe could have did a bit better. It's average. I'll give it that. It's average. It's all right.
I'll just go through the draw again in case everyone doesn't know what the round 1 draw is. So the season opener on the Thursday night, it's Eels and Storm at CommBank. Friday night, the early game, the 6 o'clock game, Warriors versus the Knights over there in New Zealand. 8 o'clock down at Penrith Stadium, the Panthers and the Broncos. Super Saturday, the 3 o'clock game, like I said before, nice and hot, probably 30 degrees. Manly versus the Bulldogs at Brookie. Saturday, 5:30, probably 400 degrees in Townsville. Cowboys and the Raiders. That'll be very hot up there in Townsville. Saturday night, Sharks and the Rabbitohs from Shark Park. Sunday, up at Suncorp there, again, probably nice and hot. Dolphins and the Roosters. And Sunday night, Tigers and the Titans from Leichhardt Oval, and the Dragons get the bye. That is the round 1 fixture. ProEnzo Vidz. Now, you told me you'll probably beat it, Manly versus Bulldogs in round 1. But what are your thoughts on the round 1 draw, bro? Do you like it? Do you disagree with it? What are your thoughts on it?
I definitely think it could be a lot better. When I first saw it, I didn't mind some of the fixtures and some of the games I did see in the round 1 draw. But I think the fact there's no rivalry game is a bit disappointing, because you want to open up the new season with a bit of I guess hype and a bit of some sort of rivalry, and that's not been added for next year. So I find that a bit strange actually. But look, it's not the worst draw. I think they could have done a whole lot worse, but I think it's just average at best. But I think my final rating would be like a 5.5 out of 10. Nothing special, but around like the middle. I do want to say that I don't know if I'm a complete fan of some teams playing each other after playing each other as their last game last season, coming to the new
Yeah, I'm
season.
with you on that one, bro. I'm with you on that.
Like Sharks South, for example, Manly Dogs, for example, round 25, and Eels Storm round 25 as well. Like I just
I
don't
understand
know.
that.
I don't know how big in that.
What about you, Hainsey, mate? What are your thoughts on this round one draw?
Very interesting. Very interesting. I think they missed an opportunity having the grand final replay of the first game of the season. You know,
Yeah.
with all the off-field drama that's had with Luai's daddy comments and all that. You know, it would have been they missed the opportunity to have an absolute blockbuster to start the season with them two going at it. I think I feel sorry for Dolphins fans because they have to wait to one of the last games of the weekend to see their team play, and it's their first game. I think it would have been easier for them to have them the first game, being the new team, but they've got to wait till the second last game of the weekend to see what they're really made of, which is a little bit of a shame, you would say, as a Dolphins fan. I'm happy that we're playing the Dolphins because it's at Suncorp and I don't have to fly to Sydney to watch the boys play. No, I don't have to fly down, which is great. So
Saves you money, mate.
Saving at least a few $100 there, so which is happy with that. Nice to get that game out of the way first. There's some interesting games there. I understand that there's going to be some shit games. They're all going to be shit games.
Yeah.
We all understand that's the first game of the season, but the NRL like to tease us with how they wait till the best games they try and ride out the grand final rematch as far as they can for some years. I think it'd be great to get it early on, but yeah, like I think they normally wait about mid like just before the Origin period to get the first grand final rematch.
Exactly, bro. I've got a problem with that, by the way. The problem I have with it is every time a team wins the comp, they don't want the grand final rematch until round 4 or 5 because they want us to get the early rust out in round 1 and round 2. So that's why they do it. But like you said, Luai calling the Eels his daddy, and Luai's the king of Penrith and the king of the Eels and all this. Parramatta want to punch him in the face round 1. So I just don't understand, why is there not one rivalry game in round 1? The closest thing to a rivalry game in round 1 is probably Parramatta Melbourne. Besides that, there's not one rivalry game that's even close to being considered a rivalry. Not one. I don't get it. I'm disappointed.
Everyone's been saying why the Broncos and the Dolphins aren't playing. There's actually a bit of history behind the Roosters and the Dolphins because of Arthur Beetson. So that's why.
Yeah, that's true.
That's why I've said it all. I think I heard about July this year that the Roosters are going to play the Dolphins, and I think you and the Tain House did a prediction to the NRL draw, and you guys both had Broncos Roosters. Broncos Dolphins, and I sort of knew, it was like, no, it's not going to be Broncos Dolphins. Say that. I always thought it was going to be us and the Dolphins because of the Arthur Beetson Cup. And I like the idea. You know, there's a bit of history between a certain player. Some people don't really realise that Arthur Beetson played 2 years at the Dolphins, 1964 and 65, before he played with the Balmain Tigers in 1969 before heading over to Eastern Suburbs to be part of that 74-75 winning side. So history with both sides, so it makes sense. But the idea of having the Dolphins in the comp is to have a game every week at Suncorp, so they're not going to have Broncos Dolphins off the back like that. They'll probably have it soon. It'd be nice. Imagine if they had it at Magic Round, though. Imagine Broncos Dolphins at Magic Round. That'd be interesting.
I would not have a problem with it if it happened either. Well, we'll get to Magic Round really soon. About a certain team missing Magic Round. CHAMPA, we can't hear you, bro. Your volume is completely off. You're not on mute either, so I don't know what's going on. We can't hear you, bro. I don't know what's happened to all that CHAMPA. His microphone just went shitted in the ass. What I was going to say about the Roosters and Dolphins. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of that. I would have had Roosters playing Souths or Penrith. I reckon that would have been a fantastic way to start the year. I would have preferred the Roosters start the year off on the Thursday night against Penrith or the Storm or all the Rabbits. But look, I think the draw sucks. I think it's disappointing. I really do. I think it's a terrible round one draw. Not because we got Tigers, Titans, we got Warriors and Knights. Not because of that. It's just we don't have any blockbuster games. Parramatta Melbourne's it is a really nice top 8 game, but it's not like a blockbuster or like, oh shit, everyone's got to be here. It's not one of them games where I'm like, oh fuck, edge of my seat stuff. Like, if I'm looking for a round one blockbuster to open up the season, bro, I'm looking at Penrith and Roosters. I'm looking at a big game, not Eels and Storm. No.
Well, last year we had Manly and Penrith, and actually, even though the game was disappointing, but the build-up of that was the Daly M.
Build-up was huge.
The Daly M medal winner versus the Clive Churchill medal winner. Like, there's something behind that game.
That was big.
The best player in the world versus the best team in the world. It's like
what's behind Parramatta and Melbourne? Like, there's nothing behind that.
Not much. Like, I mean, yes, they got a bit of history back in 09 and whatever, and a couple of finals games, but Parramatta, in my opinion, they are overused when it comes to hosting games. When it comes to season openers, when it comes to hosting big events, Combank Stadium and the Parramatta Eels, they are overused way too much.
Well,
I agree.
Way too much. Allianz Stadium as a season opener would have been perfect. Roosters and Rabbits, Roosters Storm, Roosters Panthers. I would have the Roosters start the year off because at Allianz Stadium they're going to sell that place out for a season opener.
It wouldn't work because we played South 2 games in a row. It wouldn't work. We would have played South 3 games in a row technically at Allianz. It wouldn't have worked.
Roosters and Panthers would have been perfect.
Normally the first game between us and South would be at the core stadium, so we normally wait till the back end of the season for us to play Souths there.
Roosters versus Penrith at Allianz Stadium would have been the perfect season opener.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind Rooster Storm because of Brandon Smith's at the Roosters as well.
It's a big
so
story.
that could have been something behind that.
Yeah.
You know, Chiefs first game at the Roosters against his former club. There's something behind that. So
I've heard a rumor today that Roosters Storm match will play Good Friday in round 6 at Amy Park. So
good.
We'll have Rabbitohs and Bulldogs at 4:00, and then after it, we'll have the Roosters and Storm at Amy Park in Melbourne. So that's what I'm hearing.
That'd be good. That'd be a good game. That I'll probably.
Before we move on,
yeah.
What would you give the draw out of 10, Hainesy?
Oh, it's hard to say. Like, I think again, like I said, they've missed the ballpark by starting the season with a blockbuster. But you know, like, there's some decent games in there. Like, you think like Eels Melbourne's going to be a great game. Penrith Broncos will be a good game, and you might be thinking why. But the Broncos start well though. They really start well. We look at last year. They beat South, the grand finalists, the year before.
I hate that game.
It doesn't seem good, but it will turn to be a good game. So, look, I'm going to give it a 5.5 as well. Like, you know, I think they missed opportunities here with having a blockbuster, but, you know, it's round 1, you know.
Yeah. Faraz has just sent in a 99-cent donation with a blank message. Well, thanks for the 99 cents, but I can't read what you said there, Faraz. So thank you very much. Boys, let's move on to topic number 3. CHAMPA, can we hear you now?
Am I coming through good?
Yeah. Did you want to say something before about the draw? You're trying to say something?
Oh, I just wanted to. I just had just one issue. It was Tigers Titans. Why are we ending the round on such a shit game? That's all I wanted to say.
Last year we had Cowboys Bulldogs. Everyone said, "Oh, it's the worst game in the world." It was a pretty shit game.
Someone's got to play the Sunday 6:00 game. No one's going to fucking turn up for that. No offense to, and it's no offense to you, Jampa, with the Tigers and Titans game. No one will be there. Who wants to go?
The good thing about Tigers Titans is that it's at Light Card Oval, so you might get 10,000.
Oh, you get the Tigers fans will turn up, but
you get 10,000 at Light Card, it will feel like 30,000. So I can't complain.
Exactly right.
All right. Topic number 3, fellas. The Newcastle Knights set to miss Magic Round. Fair or unfair? Now, I had a good look at this today, and I had there were a couple of reasons to why. they're missing Magic Round. Apparently, the reason is the Newcastle Knights fans don't engage as much as the other 15 NRL clubs during Magic Round. Now, I think that is absolute bullshit. I have been to the last 2 Magic Rounds. I have witnessed every team, every fan base, every game. Did not miss a single match. The Newcastle Knights definitely do not have a low Magic Round attendance. They have a great Magic Round attendance. And, Hainesy, you were at Magic Round as well, and you can probably back me up on this. There were more Newcastle fans at Magic Round than the Tigers and the Titans. And the West Tigers last year didn't even have 1,000 fucking supporters at Magic Round. There were less than 1,000 people at Magic Round for the Tigers last year when they played the Cowboys on the Sunday night. And the Gold Coast, there was no cunt there. There was a small section in the corner, and they're a bunch of fuckwits. There was no one there. Newcastle missing Magic Round is a disgrace. I think this is absolute garbage. Hainesy, I want your take on this, bro. We've been to the last 2 Magic Rounds. What do you think about this?
Yeah, look, I think end of the day, someone's going to miss out. But
yeah,
the reason, so it's fair because someone's going to miss out, but it's also unfair by the reasoning of it. The reasoning is ridiculous. They're going to take into consideration that Newcastle and the Dogs played the first game of Magic Round on the Friday night at 6 o'clock in Brisbane when it was pissing down rain. They don't take that into consideration. It just seems ridiculous that they're going off that stat. Like you said on the point of the Tigers game, I can guarantee you the 2 games that did not have anyone there was the first game of Magic Round and the last game.
100%.
Simple as that. 6 o'clock 100%. On a Friday night and 6 o'clock on a Sunday night. There's and you got to think. You got to think who misses out. They're not going to let the Broncos, the Titans, the Cowboys, and the Dolphins miss out. Them 4 are already locked in. They've confirmed that the Warriors have locked in. Confirmed the Storm are locked in. There's no way they're going to let Parramatta miss out. Not Parramatta, Penrith miss out because they're the premiers. You look at the big Sydney clubs with the fan base. Roosters, Rabbitohs, Dogs do it in their prime. Dogs do. St. George have got a good support base up there.
Yes, they do, yeah. They do.
There's 4, So, and then you've got to think of the teams that miss out. Tigers, for example, Canberra, Manly, Newcastle. Is that it? I think. So if you look at those 4 teams, Cronulla as well.
Cronulla.
Cronulla. No, I can't. You can have an argument for Cronulla because someone's going to miss out. Canberra, no, maybe not because they actually have a good fan base up there.
Travel them green bastards. I'd say.
Oh, they do. They're everywhere. You can't out-chant them because of that. What's his name? He just chants every fucking 5 seconds. You can't out-chant the guy. Simple as that. So they're in. So it leaves it just like Manly, Newcastle, and they go Newcastle. That's a fair reason because that's who is available to miss out. You also got to take into consideration who's already missed out on the season. So it's confirmed that they said that St. George is going to have the bye. So they've got to be in because they've already had a bye.
Yeah.
So they're your reasonings. Not go by fans who don't turn up, then they consider it the first game at 6 o'clock on a Friday night. So I've just explained who misses out on my reasoning. They didn't think of that. They just think, because they had the shittest attendance, they'll miss out. It's ridiculous.
They're lying to themselves, bro. They're lying. They did not have the worst attendance. No fucking way.
I don't even think the Dogs even turned up that game, if I'm honest.
There was a few Dogs fans around me. There was a few. But there was more Knights fans than Dogs.
I don't think I was sitting with you until then. I think I came down to see the Broncos Manly.
You came down late in the second half, or it might have been.
Yeah, the Broncos Manly game. I came down and saw you.
And Lorenzo, I know you're a Manly fan, but I just got to say this: there was fuck all Manly fans there last year. The cunts were going up after 20 minutes.
Well, you expect that when they're losing 38-0.
Yeah,
exactly.
Good point. Yeah. All that CHAMPA, I want your take on this, bro. Should Newcastle miss Magic Round?
Oof.
Look, they're the sacrificial lamb, I guess. I mean, someone had to go, and they all right. They obviously they didn't base it on fan attendance. They just looked at the roster and just thought, Knights, Knights, we'll just have Knights miss Magic Round. They could have at least did the fans justice by saying we had to pick a team. We apologize, but this is what we have to do. Instead, they had to lie to the fans. And it basically insult the Newcastle fans, saying, you guys don't turn up, so your team doesn't play. If I was a Newcastle fan, I'd be shitty about it. What are you saying? I'm not committed to my team? I am committed. Just because I don't go to Magic Round doesn't mean I'm not committed to my team. If I was a Newcastle fan, I'd be absolutely pissed off right now that the fact that not only was my team not in Magic Round, but I was lied to by the NRL officials. Okay, they could have at least said we had to pick a team. The Knights had to go. Okay, I'm not a Knights fan, so I can live with the Knights not being in Magic Round. If I was a Knights fan, it would have made me feel a bit more better if I was told, well, we had to go. They just had to pick a team. All right, fair enough. But no, you have to insult us by saying we're not committed. Like, that's just disrespectful. Like, imagine the owners of the NRL basically telling your fan base, yeah, you guys don't travel enough, so you don't get to play. What kind of reasoning is that? That's bullshit. Like, how do you screw up that?
I can promise you that Newcastle are one of the most loyal supporter bases in the country. One of them. And it's a tough time for Newcastle, but a prime Newcastle team, they sell out Newcastle every week, and they would travel. So,
ProEnzo, ProEnzo, what do you think about this whole thing?
Yeah, look, I'll probably have to back up what the other boys have said. I think that basing off fans a bit ridiculous, and who knows, it could have just been fake news the whole time. Probably just picked a random club from the box and probably went on Newcastle, just make them miss out on Magic Round for 2023. So I think judging off fans or whatever it was, they found it out at the end of the day. I think it was a bit wrong. I definitely think the Wood Spooners, who were the Tigers, should miss out because I feel like that's a bit more logical. I think a bit more fairer, with all due respect and all that CHAMPA. But I just think Knights should have missed out. I think that was the wrong call, and I think we can all agree.
All right, I'll tell you my reason why this is a fucking disgrace. So, like I said before, I've been to the last 2 Magic Rounds. I've been to all 16 games over the last 2 years. Newcastle fans are definitely not the lowest attended. That is just absolute fake news. The West Tigers and Gold Coast Titans hold that prize, and they hold it well. Let me say this. So we talk about Magic Round. We want it to be the biggest event in Brisbane, and it usually is. You know who should miss Magic Round? You know who should miss it? The Dolphins should miss Magic Round. And you know why they should miss Magic Round? Because Magic Round was created before they were even fucking invented. Magic Round became a thing in, 2019 it started? Is that the year it started, Magic Round?
Yeah, 2019. Yep,
2019. 19, 20, 21, 22. There's been 4 years of Magic Round.
20 didn't happen because of COVID, remember? So it's been 3.
So we've had 19, 21, 22. We've had 3 years of Magic Round. The Dolphins are now a team. So they're going to add the Dolphins in there because they're the new kids on the block and they're a Brisbane team. And they apparently need to be a part of the fucking game. The Dolphins do not deserve to be involved in Magic Round.
It makes sense, though. It makes sense for them to be there.
It does, but they shouldn't be there. Magic Round was already a concept before they were even a fucking NRL team. The Dolphins replaced Newcastle. That's a disgrace. I think Newcastle fans have every right to be upset. If I'm a Newcastle supporter, I am organising a fucking petition and going to the NRL and saying, you need to overturn this. This is garbage. Our fans show up. You don't take anything into consideration. Dolphins... How many fans are the Dolphins going to have? I'm looking forward to seeing how many members they have. I'm looking forward to seeing what their crowd attendance is like. Because I guarantee you one thing. Newcastle will probably have more fans and more attendance but they're just going to go, oh, no, because they're a Brisbane team now, we've got to involve them. I reckon it's completely unfair and it's bullshit. And if I'm a Knights supporter, I would be fucking filthy with the whole thing. That's what I believe anyway.
That's fair.
Yeah, I agree, but I just can't see Newcastle. I can't just see the Dolphins missing out on that.
Well,
I think there'll be a few people. I think it's not going to be off the black. I think it's going to be more come the generation, the next 5 or 10 years. They're going to have the Dolphins become big in the next 5 years. I think
they're trying.
They'll try, and there'll be a few who will switch over from their teams to support the Dolphins. I know a mate of mine who's a Melbourne Storm fan. He's now, because he's been a Dolphins fan in the Q Cup. He's now a Dolphins fan.
Yeah,
so, wow. I think that's going to be. I was actually. I don't. It's going to sound stupid, but I was actually thinking about becoming a Dolphins Foundation member, just to be a foundation member at a club. It would be something pretty cool. I think. I didn't end up doing it, but I was thinking that'd be cool to be a foundation member.
Yeah, it would be cool.
That's the only reason to be I'm a foundation member of this club kind of thing. But no, I didn't. That'd be something to be cool.
Well, let's move on to topic number 2 now. ProEnzo Vidz definitely will be interested in this whole thing. We've known about this for weeks, and it's finally become official. Topic number 2, Anthony Seibold officially announced as Manly head coach. ProEnzo Vidz, what are your thoughts on this? Do you like Seibold to the club? What do you think about Anthony Seibold taking over as the Manly coach?
Oh, look. Yeah, I think we need to go in a new direction. I think that's what I personally believe as a fan of the club, that we need a bit of a change and a bit of a shake-up after, I guess, playing some footy that I didn't believe that we could go and play going forward and stuff like that. I will admit that Seibold was never my first choice. He wasn't my first choice as a coach, but I guess he's, our coach now. We've got to just back him. I guess that's how it has to really go. And I understand a lot of people have their worries and sort of a bit concerned about him being back in the NRL as last time obviously he was in the NRL didn't end all too well, and obviously he kind of made some mistakes for himself and other stuff happened as well. But I think listening to some of his interviews on Nine and stuff like that, I do think that he's matured and he sort of understands that he did make a mistake and didn't do the best last time. He could have fixed a couple of things and that. So I do think he'll do something and offer something. And I like how he mentions our junior systems, wants to make that a bit stronger. He wants to work with its particular players. He's excited working with Kola, Kawatu, and all them. So it's good how he mentions that. But we'll see how he goes. I guess I understand where people are coming from if they have concerns. I understand that.
What do you reckon about this one, Hainesy? Anthony Seibold coaching the Seagulls. Do you like it or what?
I'm not too sure, to be honest. The sack Des is a big call for Manly, and because he's like a favourite son at Manly. He's won a premiership there as a player and a coach. And all that. But I just think for you, ProEnzo, and for Manly fans, I hope they're making the right decision here. If they get it right, it's a stroke of genius. All Seibold needs to do is make sure Turbo's fit, 100% fit, and Manly will go all right. I think that. So, if you look at his coaching career, he had a good few. How many years did he coach at South? 2? Was it one or 2?
1.
So 18. Okay. So look, he got him to a prelim final. Yeah, stacked team from South. You got to achieve that 18 prelim. 2019, it was I'd say a successful year for the Broncos in 19. They made finals.
I think they missed the 8. Hang on.
No, not. So 19, they got knocked out by losing 58-0 to Parramatta.
That's
right. So apart from that result, it was a semi-successful year as a coach. 2020 all went tits up. It went fucking disastrous. And I think every coach deserves a second chance. He didn't get it right at the Broncos, and he doesn't deserve to be remembered as that. Or he bloody replaced Wayne Bennett and absolutely ran the club into the ground kind of thing. You know, he deserves another shot. You know, and he's got an opportunity here to right that wrong at what he did at the Broncos. And if he does, I wish him all the best because he deserves to go well. The only thing though, I think there's better coaches than Seabolt though. That's my only issue about it. Is like you know, I think it's a risk. It's a risk to sack your premiership winning coach with a coach who's only really coached for 3 years at a club, and he's been at 2 different clubs, and he hasn't lasted 3 seasons. So it's a risk. But if they get Turbo fit, you know, any coach can coach Turbo, a side like Turbo, being how destructive he can be. So if it goes well, good on him. If it doesn't go wrong, it's a loss. It's a big mistake by Manly, and I don't think, and we've seen it before, that they Trent Barrett didn't do well, and they wanted Des back. I don't think they're going to get Des back after if he doesn't do well. So
yeah. Fair enough. All that CHAMPA. What do you think about Anthony Seibold? Personally, I think he's had his issues in the past. Although that interview we just did recently, he seems to have grown up a little bit, and he's sort of, he's rebuilt himself, I guess. What do you make of Anthony Seibold taking over as the Manly Seagulls head coach?
I think it's a fantastic idea. Look, no offense to Des Hasler. He is a legend and all that, but let's be honest, he's out of touch with the game. He's a fossil. And
agreed.
Look, I think it's best for Manly to move him on and not to keep him just because of past glories and success. Let him move on. Maybe he just needs a fresh start. And who knows where he goes? And maybe he'll, find success somewhere else. But I think Anthony Seibold is a great choice for Manly. He's not a bad coach. Obviously, he's not the best. His resume is well. It's you can even look at it. It was a success, or he's had some issues. I understand, but like you said, he seemed more mature. Maybe he needed to go back to an assistant coaching role and sort of learn a bit more as what it takes to be a head coach. And I think now I think he's ready to lead a first grade team again. And what better team to go for than Manly, a top 8 potential team. And look, Manly have the talent. Manly are welcoming him with open arms. So I think it's going to be very interesting to see how Seibold coaches the Manly side. I think whether they went with Seibold or anyone else, they just needed to move on from Des because, like I said, he's a dinosaur, and Manly didn't need that.
Well, if we're talking about potential with Manly, as long as that fat cunt Josh Schuster loses some weight, then Manly have got some fucking exciting times up their sleeve.
Wow. Wow.
Josh Schuster, a good friend of mine.
Friend of the show.
Anthony Seibold. I think he's a horrible coach. I don't believe in him. But this is his second opportunity. Second opportunity now. I think this is his last chance. If Anthony Seibold flops, I can't see him being an NRL coach ever again. I think there's potential there. Obviously, with Tommy Turbo, Daly Cherry Evans, the potential man, Josh Schuster. Lots of exciting outside backs there, the likes of Tupolotu, Saab, if Saab can stay fit. The poor bugger, he had a great year his first year. Last year, he was injured every second week. There's potential there with Seibold. And look, Manly don't have a terrible roster. They may lack a great prop in the middle, but they do have a fair team. I think they're going to improve next year. They can't be as horrible as what they were. They only finished 10th last year, so you'd think they'd be around that 6 to 10 mark again. But Josh Schuster, very solid. Oh, Josh Schuster, he's a good player. Don't get me wrong. Needs to lose some weight first. But Anthony Seibold, I think this is his last chance. And Shane Flanagan's going to be the assistant coach with Jim Dimmick. 2 very good minds there. So this is Seibold's last chance for me anyway.
I think it's best. I think it's good. Look, I think it's just good that Des is gone.
I think it's horrible that Des is gone, but we all know why.
Yeah, it's
It's
good
horrible.
news.
He's a walking dinosaur.
Yeah, so the Tigers. Nah, sorry, bro.
Fuck off.
How old's Tim Sheens this year?
About 150.
If we talk about dinosaurs, we got one dinosaur there.
But on that,
Back of the Tigers.
All right. Topic number 1, fellas. Harry Grant. He's taken a shot at the NRL over money. Well, I've seen this. This has this can get really ugly if it doesn't get sorted out real quick. So Harry Grant's upset. He's taking a shot at the NRL, saying players are better off quitting and getting on the tools. I've got the article right in front of me. I'm going to read it in just a moment. But Harry Grant, he's seems to be quite upset about this, Harry Grant. I don't know why he's opening his mouth about this. I think he should let his managers and let the more people above him deal with this instead of coming out and throwing a bar or two. ProEnzo, Vidz, what are your thoughts on this whole thing about the NRL players not getting enough money?
Oh, look, I just obviously I found out about this whole thing about what Harry Grant said on Monday or Tuesday, I think, and yeah, I don't agree with it, to be honest. I think they get paid enough. I think that the amount of money they receive now and everything like that, I think it's, nothing you should be complaining about. I think they're pretty wealthy. If I see it like that, I think they are anyway. But like again, if he's saying that you rather, or it's probably better off being on the tools and stuff like that, and
well, off you go.
Taking some other occupation up, then no one's stopping you from doing that, Grant. No one's who's stopping him from retiring and going on the tools, and like you said, no one's stopping him. So I think when he came out and said that, he didn't have to say that. It's a manager thing, it's a player management thing. It's not for a player to go out and sort of speak on behalf of contracts and money talk. I believe. I think that was wrong to start off with, and but I guess there's a lot of players that actually are upset about this. Like Grant's not the only one, but I don't agree with it.
Yeah. What do you reckon, Hainesy, about this whole thing?
Yeah, I agree. I think it's ridiculous that they're complaining about money, like, because they can have more money than any of it everyday Australian will ever get in their lifetime in just one season for particular players. Look, I can understand why they feel like it's a hard job. It is a job, right? But I don't think people understand how hard they have to work to get what they get. Like, you don't see so one of the highest paid jobs in the world is a doctor. They're at uni for 5 years. Rugby league players have been learning their job, their role as a job, since they were 5 years old to play rugby league. I know that sounds stupid, but it's true. Like, you're not doing a uni degree to play rugby league. You're learning it from the ground up as a 5-year-old, trying to progress to be a rugby league player. But on the same though, I think rugby league players are one of the most highly paid sportsmen or women in the country. It's simple as that. They get more money than anyone else as a player, as just a normal human being in Australia. So, and I think sometimes they take that for granted by demanding more stuff. They demand all the kind of stuff. And I think they just got to sit down and I understand that they're trying to set themselves for life, because football, probably you play like max 10 years as a good player. You can get at least 10 years out of it. At the end of the day, you're not going to be able to play for the rest of your life. So there's going to be life after footy. And I understand that they're trying to set themselves up for life. But at the end of the day, they've got to be more realistic about it, I think. I think Harry Grant...
What do you reckon about this all that, CHAMPA?
You guys are all going to disagree with me on this. But I'm backing Harry Grant on this one. Let's put this in perspective, all right? You are putting your body on the line for 20, let's say a good 25 weeks every year, right? You're constantly getting battered, beaten, bruised, and hell, maybe even broken. You handle concussions. You handle hate from the fans. You handle media hate. You handle all this stuff. Combine that by doing this for 10 plus years, and add on the travel, add on everything like that, you're going to want at least a good payout from all of this. I think Harry Grant, look, I understand what everyone else is saying. They get paid more than probably all of us do. They probably get paid more than everyone else watching. They get paid more than the average Australian. But the average Australian isn't for 25 weeks getting battered, beaten, and bruised like these players do. And to maintain doing all of that for 10 plus years, minimum, I think players deserve more respect, because what do they get after rugby league? When the $800,000 contracts for 2 years go away, what do they have? A beaten, bruised body, and nothing after retirement to take care of yourself. I think Harry Grant's. I wouldn't say I'm 100% for Harry Grant. I do, however, see maybe some faults. Like, yes, you are getting paid more than what I'm getting paid, so you should really appreciate it. Then again, I'm not doing what you're doing every year, so I respect that. I think Harry Grant has a point.
I think Harry Grant probably shouldn't have opened his mouth, but I think Harry Grant's actually a bit on the money with this one. I'm with you a little bit on this, Champa. I think you got to remember, all the players, all the coaches, all the clubs, right? During the pandemic, the lockdown, when the season reopened, and they started in round 3 and whatnot, when the 6-week lockdown happened, every single player took a massive pay cut. I think it was like 15% of what they were getting. So it was a pretty big pay cut for them. So that's a pretty good sacrifice themselves. And they all had to play at empty stadiums and no interaction with fans. As an NRL player, that would have been really weird. Cardboard cutouts are your supporters. How weird is that? I think the NRL need to pay them what they should get and what they're worth. They took huge pay cuts during the pandemic. I'm unaware if they got back to full payments. They should be getting more money. People are going to say, oh, they get too much money as it is. Not necessarily. It's not. Look, yes, they are probably financially fine. Most of them, the big name players would be. The players that are on the cusp of NRL, 1 week NRL, 1 week New South Wales Cup, they're probably doing fine, but could be doing better. I think the NRL need to pay more money. I think more money is required. They're not getting enough. I don't reckon they are anyway.
Especially the only a handful of players are getting $1 million a season. So
exactly right. And plus, the players that are on 800,000, they're practically getting $1 million anyway, because you got the TV, media, interviews, like all that shit, that commercials. They're getting paid extra, so they're practically getting $1 million anyway if you're on 800,000.
Exactly right. On the point of having those fringe first graders, they're not getting a lot, but they're getting enough to support themselves and do it full time, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's true.
They've got enough. They've got enough to be full time, pay their bills, etc. A little bit more would be great, of course, but it's not like in European soccer and all that, how they get a young teenager in the academy gets $1 million straight off the bat like that.
Yeah.
You know, the money over there is ridiculous. Imagine that kind of money in Australia would be pretty interesting to see. But yeah,
the only thing that worries me is I'm not sure if this is completely true, but are the NRL players getting their payments what they were getting before COVID? Because when COVID came in, everyone took a pay cut. Are they getting their full payments back now, or are they still on that pay cut? Because I'd love to know what the go is behind that.
I'm not sure.
That could be the reason why he spoke out.
That's what I'm thinking as well, but I could be wrong. But anyway, Harry Grant, probably shouldn't have said anything at all. He should have let someone else that's bigger
So,
than him to say
They've
it, but
reduced the salary cap, right?
apparently, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
that's not going to affect Harry Grant. This is going to affect the young fellas coming through.
Exactly.
Sorry,
correct.
we're going to make cuts to make sure Harry Grant gets whatever he fucking wants.
Yeah, exactly. You got to make sure everyone gets what they want, and if I don't, there's going to be a big
Because
fight.
at Melbourne, they're not going to let Harry Grant go. They're just going to
No.
let someone else go. Simple as that.
Yeah.
So he doesn't have to fucking worry about it.
Melbourne would sacrifice 2 or 3 youngsters for Harry Grant. We know this.
Yeah.
They've done it. They've already done that with Nico Hines. And
Exactly right. All right, well, let's move on to a bit of fun. The Breakdown Podcast game show.
Hello.
This is going to be very, very fun. ProEnzo, Vidz, All Out CHAMPA, and HAYNESY go battle in the Breakdown Podcast game show, episode 70. Let's have a look at the odds for the game show. ProEnzo Vidz, $2.50.
Did he even score a point last week? How was he 250?
All Out
I'm still
CHAMPA.
the best.
All Out CHAMPA at $69.
I was second.
And HAYNESY is very good value at $10.
$10. That's gold.
I'm going to throw money on HAYNESY because $2.50 for me is just far too short. But I'm going to back HAYNESY in that fuckery.
Come on.
Great value there.
I
Now,
like the value.
everyone knows the rules. Everyone in the live chat. If you reveal the answer to a question, you will be instantly banned in the live chat. No hesitation. You will be banned. Right. The questions are at random, as everyone knows. Fellas, let's do it. Right. Question number 1. Now, basically, if you get a question wrong, you have to wait till someone else. You have to wait till the other 2 people go. So that's basically how it works. All right. Fellas, the questions are at random. What was the score in the Rugby League World Cup match a couple of weeks ago between England and France?
94-0.
What did you say, ProEnzo?
34-18.
Incorrect. HAYNESY.
94-4.
Incorrect. CHAMPA.
Close.
64-10.
Incorrect. Timeout. England 42. France what?
10.
Incorrect.
4.
Incorrect. CHAMPA.
6.
8.
Incorrect. ProEnzo.
12.
Incorrect. HAYNESY.
6.
Incorrect. CHAMPA.
0.
Incorrect. Fuck, you cunts are hopeless. ProEnzo.
16.
Incorrect. HAYNESY.
8.
Incorrect. CHAMPA.
Fuck.
18.
Correct, CHAMPA.
Oh,
Away.
$69.
Away.
$69. Quick, stop the count.
69 is my luckiest number.
I put 100 on Champa.
CHAMPA's declaring the win now.
69 is my luckiest number.
Look at that on the screen now. $69. Good start for All Out CHAMPA.
Love me a good
Very
69.
I was stumped on that answer.
No
What
one
was the
knew it, eh?
answer?
I was laughing. I was like, no one knows this.
I don't even think anyone
What was
watched
the
that
answer?
game.
All right. Next question. What was the score in the Rugby League World Cup the other week between Papua New Guinea and Cook Islands?
32-16.
Oh, well played.
Fuck.
Got it. Yes.
Good one there.
I knew it was somewhere around there.
Well
I knew it was
played.
somewhere around there.
Haynes is on the board.
Let's go, Champa. We work together. Fuck ProEnzo. He deserves not to win. Fuck your $2.50 odds.
Come back. No, come back's on. Don't worry.
Come back in. Here we go.
It's on.
All right, next game. Fellas, in the Rugby League World Cup, what was the score between Fiji and Scotland the other week?
66.
What'd you say, Champa?
Well,
I didn't say anything yet. I was.
oh, that was
Yeah.
me.
What'd you say?
I said
60 what?
I said 66-6.
Oh, you're way off. Way off. Hainesy.
Oh, I don't know. I'm gonna say 48-10.
Nah. Champa?
40-6.
Nah. Fiji 30. Scotland what?
10.
Incorrect.
4.
Incorrect. Champa.
12.
Incorrect.
What the fuck?
ProEnzo.
6.
Incorrect. Hainesy.
What have we had before? So we've had 12. Have we had 12 yet?
Yeah, we've had 12, yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna say 14.
Correct.
Hey, let's go. Let's go. Those
Correct.
answers are fucking like because they've been floggings. Most of them have been floggings.
Oh no, there's been a lot of floggers and
Yeah.
there's been a lot of
Since when did Fiji win 32? What was it, 32-14 against Scotland? Are you kidding me?
30
I'm
to
not good at
14.
score lines.
30 to
I'm not
14.
good at score lines, honestly.
ProEnzo, what in the hell's happened to your form?
Look, I'm not good at score lines, so yeah, I'm not
All
sure.
right, we're gonna go to a tougher question. All right, I wonder if you guys will get this right, boys. What was the score in Origin 1 from this year?
14-12.
Incorrect.
Oh.
16-14.
16-14 is incorrect. ProEnzo.
18-14.
Incorrect.
2014.
18-16.
All right. Queensland 16, New South Wales what?
10.
10.
That was the exact same time, and it was 16-10.
I was first, I swear.
And someone in the chat just revealed the answer. So to
Oh.
Ryan Mamaluga Lunga, however the fuck you pronounce it. Get out of the chat, brother. Sorry, mate.
Go for 10. Go for 10, son.
Ryan Mugalunga. See you later, mate.
That's so. Oh my god.
Yeah, absolute ground.
Oh. Wow.
Oh, my God.
Idiot.
How did we all say 10 at the same time, though?
I
Oh,
was first.
Righto, boys. Next question.
I knew it was
What
close.
was the score in the All-Stars game?
Oh,
earlier
fuck, why
this
would
year?
I know that? Oh, hang on.
I'll give you a clue to start off. The New Zealand Mary's 16. The
12.
Indigenous All-Stars what?
10.
Correct, ProEnzo Vidz.
No, he's back.
Ah.
Oh,
About
well,
time. About time, seriously.
what the fuck? Who the fuck even watches the All Stars?
I love the
I do.
All-Stars.
That's why I got correct.
Oh, yeah. I was at the All-Stars a couple of years ago. It's a fantastic time up at Seabus. Great time. I love it. All right. Next question. Now, good luck getting this one, fellas. Guys, last week, the Women's Rugby League World Cup,
Oh Jesus!
what was the score between Australia and France?
Oh,
Australia
74.
No. Hang on.
No.
Australia 92, France
Wow.
what?
Nil?
Correct!
Oh!
What? Fucking hell, just like that.
Hey,
Fucking hell, women's rugby league sucks.
$69, guys.
Fuck.
$69, boys. Who jumped on it? It's your chance.
69, baby.
$69. I'm just repeating. He was
Oh my God.
$69.
It's the biggest omen of the year.
What the hell?
I can't believe it.
What the hell?
Good God Almighty. All right, fellas. In round 25 of the NRL,
What round?
round 25,
25.
the Tigers played the Raiders. What was the score?
52-10.
52-10 is incorrect.
Oh, it's
54-18.
Incorrect. Champa.
50. Oh, there you go.
Fi-
Champa.
58. I know this one. 58. 6.
Nah. All right. Time out.
56-10.
Raiders 56. Tigers what?
12-10. 10.
What'd you say first, Hainesy?
10.
Who said 12?
I said 12.
The correct answer is 10. Hainesy's the winner.
Yes! Get in. I was at that game. I knew they scored
Oh,
50.
okay.
I stopped
that game?
watching 30 minutes into the game, so
I wanted to go
I
home.
don't know.
I didn't even notice
I had to
that
get the
game.
flight home.
Oh, my
But
God.
at
What a
the end,
man.
it was 56.
That was a fucking good game show.
I don't know what's happened to me. But...
$10.
ProEnzo, Vidz, your value's going at about $5 next week.
I want to see.
Yeah, I'm not surprised actually.
Look,
I'm not
ProEnzo will be value next week. Look, World Cup.
I
It's
shouldn't.
very-
I
it's very
shouldn't
hard.
be. Not
All
next
right,
week.
let's get into this one just real quick because I know we've got to go. The Rugby League World Cup semi-final preview. We all know that the semi-finals are on this weekend. It's Australia versus New Zealand and England versus Samoa. We'll get into this real quick.
Oh,
Saturday, November 12, 6:45 a.m. in New South Wales. It's about 5:45 up there in Queensland. It's Australia versus New Zealand at Ellen Road. Australia $1.20, New Zealand at $4.50. Boys, all I want is a prediction. Who wins the game? ProEnzo, Vidz, Australia or New Zealand?
Gonna go the upset. I'm going to take New Zealand here by 4.
Wow. What scoreline you reckon?
20-16.
Wow, righto. Hainesy, what do you reckon about this one?
Ooh, this game's at Leeds too. Home to Leeds United. Very good.
Ellen Road.
I know my Premier League stats. Don't you worry about that. I'm going to go. Look, both weren't good last week, but semi-final rivalry can't go past. I think Australia clicking well. I'm going to go Australia by 10, 20-10.
Yeah, nice. CHAMPA, what do you reckon?
New Zealand by 12.
What the fuck? Really?
20-8.
Wow. I reckon New Zealand win as well. I do.
Yes.
I think we're gone. I think Australia's going to lose. I don't like Nathan Cleary in the team. I prefer Cherry Evans. Been there and done it. Nathan Cleary doesn't understand the pitch of England. He's not used to the fields. I think New Zealand are going to win. And they're paying $4.50, so it might be the best value of the whole weekend.
Joseph Manu is on a
Both
roll.
New Zealand and England have been valued the whole tournament before the tournament even started. So
I'm going to go New Zealand by 6. I'm going to go 20 points to 14 here, and I think New Zealand will win by 6. I think it's going to be a great game. Fuck!
Yes.
Oh, fuck off.
someone clip that, please.
He is going to be memed now.
That was a real
DJ,
setup,
please clip that.
Did not expect that.
Oh my god.
You scared me so bad. The fucking internet connection was starting to cut out.
My god.
My God, the fucking air horn, man. Fuck!
That gets everyone.
Fucking hell.
That gets everyone, dude.
The live chat would have got a fucking fright on their phones with the headphones. They would have been, oh, what the fuck was that?
They're all laughing right now.
I wasn't even that bad, to be honest.
Jesus Christ. Revenge is coming.
Thank you, CJ, for clipping that. Good.
Yeah, I'm going to get
You're
made
still a Steph fan, so
all over Instagram tonight. Fuck. You know what? I hope New Zealand fight Australia by 50 now. Fuck this.
Oh!
I'm going New Zealand by 6. I'm going 20-14. New Zealand are going to win. Australia's going to lose.
Wow.
Righto. Final game. England versus Samoa. What a game this will be. This is at the Emirates Stadium. What a game this will be. England $1.35. Samoa at $3.25. Last time they played, we all know what happened. England won by 60-6. It was fantastic to watch. England against Samoa. I can't wait for this. I reckon Samoa's out for redemption, but do they have enough to win? ProEnzo, what do you reckon?
I think Samoa definitely out for redemption and definitely want to prove a point from last time, but I just can't go past England, playing, especially the England pitch. It's just too much experience with the Super League players. Now I probably know the ground's best, so I think they'll win by by about
I don't-
8 points. 8 points. 28 points to 16.
Okay, Hainesy, what do you reckon?
It's a hard one to pick with on the topic of that, ProEnzo. They're playing at the Emirates, which is a soccer ground, home of Arsenal, Ellen Road, home of Leeds. The finals at Old Trafford, home of Manchester United. So their grounds are completely different to they're still the same, but it's a big ground, but it's still a small pitch because it's suited for a soccer ground. I know it's been like that throughout the whole tournament, and we've had games like at Bolton and at Wigan and I think Leeds Rhinos as well, where their grounds are suited for rugby league. So it's going to be different with their kicking game, especially with Samoa. But yeah, like you said, England conditions. I think England. I think they do a job. It's going to be a big crowd. Emirates is a massive stadium compared to all the other grounds that they've been to this season in the World Cup. Emirates is a massive ground. I think it holds about 70,000, I think, and the same about for Old Trafford as well. So I'm going to tip an Ashes rivalry here. I'm going to say Australia, England to play at Old Trafford in the final next week. It's going to be a big crowd at the Theatre of Dreams, but at the Emirates for now. I'm going to go England win well. I'm going to say England 32, Samoa 16. It's going to be a good game early, but I think Samoa died off in that game in the first game. I know they'll be out for revenge early, but England have been unstoppable out this whole tournament.
CHAMPA, what do you reckon?
All I just want to say is I feel like the biggest idiot for tipping Samoa to go all the way. They are flops. They are failures. And they are going to get smashed by England again. So you think 60-6 was bad? I'm tipping them getting I'll be a bit fair. I'll put 40 on them. I think England are going to destroy Samoa. Samoa, the most overhyped rugby league team this World Cup, and England have probably one of the best World Cup. Has been one of the best teams in the World Cup this year. So I'm tipping England a 40+ win, and Samoa are going to get smashed.
I reckon England win, but I think we're going to get a close game. I think Samoa. I think they've learnt from their mistakes in the first game. I don't think Samoa can win. I can't see them winning the game. I wouldn't be surprised if Samoa scored the first try and gave the Pommies a bit of an early scare. But I just feel England, they'll be a little bit too strong and they'll run over them. I reckon England by 18 points. I think maybe Samoa have a chance with 5 to go, but no, England will win. I'll go with a scoreline of 28 points to 10. England by 18. I reckon Samoa might score the first try for Brian Tye or something. He might go for the first try. Samoa, I reckon they'll have a lead of 10-4 maybe, and then England will just go bang, 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 and they run over them and win the game 28 to 10.
You guys are being too fair to Samoa. They're going to get smashed.
What I want to see happen, I want to see a drum Luai get punched in the mouth by Victor Radley or something.
Yep, Victor the fucking Victor.
I just want to see.
Hey, look.
I just want to see Ryan Hall. I want to see Ryan Hall run over.
He's not playing.
Ryan Hall's not playing.
Oh, that's right. He's not playing.
It'll be Dominic Young or Makinson Lovey on the wing, so that'll be a good matchup.
Anyone who follows me on TikTok, please pray for me when Samoa lose, so I can do another Luai joke and I get abused for my appearance.
As far as I understand, Jerome Luai can suck my cock.
Yeah.
So
and you know what?
Please help me with my
record this. Record this. The Samoan team are the most overhyped rugby league international team. They suck.
Well, we're going to find out on Sunday morning at 1:30 a.m. We're going to find out what happens. But I'm going for England. England to win. Boys, it's been an hour and 15 minutes. It's been a great podcast. Boys, thanks for a great show tonight.
Awesome.
Thank you for having
me on.
No worries, boys. Well, thanks to everyone in the live chat that tuned in. It's been a great show. It's been a good crowd. And yes, I shit myself when my fucking cousin scared the living fuck out of me.
Please,
I have no doubt I will be memed on Instagram about it all. Anyway, everyone, thank you for tuning in. I'll see you guys tomorrow night for another live stream of some sort. Anyway, Until next time, guys, have a great night. Fuck
Yep.
it is. I'm going to get
It is.
revenge.
Farewell.
England gonna smash some.